So first, you get your wood, and you get progressively smaller. So we have these nice logs. We get smaller, 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 all the way down to this. And you have something to start with. So little tiny kindling, like that.
We're gonna be making a fire here. So we got all of our pieces. We got our small little stuff leading up to bigger and bigger, and then some logs over there. What we're gonna be making is called a teepee. It's pretty self-explanatory. The way it works is you just take some of your kind of your medium-sized stuff, and you're just gonna stand it up. Now I have the luxury of a fire pit, so this ground is really soft, so I can just kind of shove it in there and it won't fall over. But obviously, if you're like out and about or something, you know, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but it shouldn't be too hard. Just stick some stuff in here like this. The reason teepees work so well is because the fire starts down here in the middle, and it radiates out and up. So as it goes out, it catches the bottom of these on fire, and it goes up, it catches the insides and the sides, and it just works its way up, and it lights real fast. So now we're gonna take some of our kindling here, and we're gonna kind of put it in the middle of this, like so. That way, this stuff lights real quick, and it should get real hot. Now I'm actually gonna open this up here. We'll take some of our little small stuff and just kind of make a nice little bottom layer that will catch. All right, so this right here is like a little homemade fire starter. It's just an egg carton, and what it does is just put little wood chips in here, and then you put hot glue in there, and it holds it all together. And what happens is the cardboard's real flammable, so it lights, it gets real hot, and then the wood chips catch, and then you got like a nice little fire right here. So I would definitely advise taking this anywhere you're going. But if you're not able to make something like this, paper, really good. Anything that's real flimsy and flammable is going to be really good. Dry grass. Also, there's stuff called steel wool. It's made for like washing dishes, but it's super flammable and it's really good to use. So I'm just going to stick it down in here like this. Just take my lighter here. Kind of light the outside. Alright, so the lighter ran out of fluid, so we're using a match. These are barbecue matches, which is why they're so long, so you can be able to reach down inside of stuff. Just light it here, and we're gonna light the cardboard here. If it would go, please. Alright, so it's going here a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our thinner pieces and kind of lay it on top there, get it going, and that teepee motion, it should build it right up. All right, so we're just...
Normally you want more kindling and stuff like that, but we're not trying to start a whole bonfire back here. So now we added some more stuff on the outside, since it's picking up a bit.
All right, this is high-grade lighter fluid. This will really get the party going. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna kind of add a little bit.
Preferably without letting himself on fire.
Yeah, on the side here. Just a tad bit. And then I'm just gonna kind of put it in there.
And that lit up
and
right
that's
away.
gonna get going real good.
But even without the lighter fluid, we were able to start it. So once it's roaring, we add some bigger logs, hopefully without burning ourselves. Well, it kind of fell over, but you guys get the gist. You work your way up from the small stuff to the bigger stuff, and you keep adding stuff as it goes. And yeah, that's how you make a fire. So we're building a basic A-frame shelter. So you need three things: 2 points of contact, a piece of rope that you can put to those 2 pieces of contact, and some sort of tarp or a blanket big enough. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Big enough to cover you and all of your stuff. So take our rope, fasten it over here. Bring it to the other side. If the rope liked us today. There we go. I guess it still doesn't. Maybe. There we go. Alright. And we tie it to the other side. Keeping it taut. And tying it off. All right. So there's our line. We have our tarp. Big tarp. I'll have to put some music over this. Play the tarp over. Once it over, we do have a bit of wind today. That's not right. So, we have, with the tarps, you have these grommets on the end, so it'll help with that. If you have a tarp, better than a blanket, you can use a stick, heavy rocks, anything like that to stake down the corners. Can't do that at the moment, but we have that. Once those are staked down, you'll have this nice open inside shelter away from the elements. So once we have all 4 stakes in, pull it tight on that end. Okay, this is what it looks like. And we have all of that space in there for everything, your personal gear and yourself. We have a bunch of space, and with how big this tarp is, we have a lot more room for 2 people. So there's a bunch of space, and Daniel, it's weather resistant, as you can tell. Nothing getting in on the inside.
All right, so next we're gonna be showing how to make like a makeshift stretcher. Right, you're out in the wilderness, you get hurt, can't walk, kind of an uh-oh situation here. So this is our lovely volunteer. Monkey here, he was jumping on the bed and he hit his head, and now he can't walk. So that's not good. How's he gonna get out? With a stretcher. So you're gonna take your 2 buddies, and one of them is gonna stay with Monkey here, while the other one goes and looks for a wild stick plant. This is an endangered plant, kind of hard to come across. They produce natural long sticks, varying sizes. They're usually pretty round. That's what you're looking for. So like this, not gonna work. But if we come over here to our stick plant, look at this. 2 beautiful sticks right here. This will be good for our patient here, but if you're a human, take some of these ones. These ones are a little bit more uncommon, but you can still find them now, right? I'm about like 6'2", so if it were to happen to me, it wouldn't be very comfortable, but I wouldn't die. So Now, what we're using here is just some small ones and a little beach towel for our purposes. But if you were using it on an actual person, you would still use the same method, just with some bigger sticks and like a tarp, for example, from your shelter, or like a ground cloth. So, all right. So, what you're gonna do to make this is you're gonna take your tarp or your blanket. What you're gonna want to do, you're gonna lay it out like this. Take your 2 sticks, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to fold this into thirds. Why thirds? Because one folds over on this stick and it lines up just perfectly with the other one, and then same like this. Now what this does, it creates friction between those, and it looks like, oh, it's gonna fall right through, but it doesn't. He will actually lay just on top of here and then lifts up. Now I know this isn't a whole bunch of weight, I think he's like 7 grams, but it works with heavier things, with people. We would have done it with people, but Chris said no. So, but it does work with humans, you know. Just the heavier the person is, the more thicker, durable stuff you're gonna want to use.
And the stronger the people carrying that will have to be.
Okay. But yeah. So thank you, monkey.
So what we have here is an emergency kit. This one is a big one. This one's a family-sized one that Daniel keeps at his house. I have a similar one at my house. This one will cover at least 4 people, and it covers all your bases: food, water, shelter, and first aid, all in this bag. I won't take everything out, but basic needs: first aid and shelter up here. More first aid, a lot of first aid, because in an emergency, this could be like the house goes up in flames, or it's an earthquake and something happens. We have some waters on the sides, nice and easily accessible. In case something terrible happens, we have CPR masks for adults and children, things like that. So it's very good to keep something like this in your house, in your car. Obviously nothing this big for your car, but something super small like road flares, or something that you can keep in your car, or when you're not intentionally going out backpacking, will do you just as fine as something as big as this. Like I said, this is for a family, so something very small that can keep you alive and keep you seen will help you.
All right, so what we're making now is a weather rock. A weather rock is a great tool to use to tell the weather, and that's about it. So what you're gonna need for this, obviously you're gonna need a rock, and then you're gonna need go to your bush, or your stick bush again, get some sticks. You're gonna need 3 of them. You're gonna need some rope, and you're just gonna tie a little lashing here. Pretty simple. You just go around and around and around, and then up and down and all over. And then you should get something that looks like this, and you can just stand it up in a little teepee form like this. And then you're gonna take your rock and you're gonna tie it to this, and then your weather rock is all done. Right, so the weather rock, as you can see here, is done. What we did was just kind of wrap the rope around it a bunch of times, and it's standing up. So first off, here in California, it's we won't get too many of these examples, but we'll still go over them in case you're somewhere else. So first off, if you can see the rock, and there's a shadow, it's gonna be nice and bright and sunny outside. So you can see the rock, daytime, there's a shadow, probably a pretty clear day. If there's no shadow like this, got a little overcast, but we can still see the rock. So it is the daytime still. All right, now if it's kind of difficult to see the rock, it's probably getting dark out, probably nighttime. Now if you can't see the rock at all, most definitely nighttime. All right, so if the rock looks like this, it's a little bit windy. You can tell that because it's moving. It's getting pushed by the wind. Right now, this doesn't really happen a lot where I live, but if there's a bunch of cold white stuff on the rock, that's snow, and that's how you're gonna know it's snowing out. Now, if the rock is wet, you can tell by you can touch the surface. It's a little wet and slippery. You can also look at the bottom and around it on the bottom. That's gonna be the rain. So the rain causes it to get wet. That's how you can tell it's raining. Now, if it's super windy and wet, it's probably a hurricane. Now, if the rock is just completely gone, probably a tornado. So you want to look out for those. Now, if the rock is on fire, there's probably a fire around. And if the rock is turned to ash, or I wouldn't say the rock, but the sticks holding it up, it's probably too late. The fire probably got you. So if the rock is on fire, it's probably a good indication that there's a fire around, or it's just super hot out. Now, if this happens, you're gonna want to try and find your phone, call the fire department, be like, hey, there's a fire, I need to put this out. They'll probably come and dump some water on it. It works some of the time, right? Not all the time, but. And they come in with their big hoses and they'll get it out for you. They'll try to, at least. So. All right, and now we can see that it's raining outside. We can see it's raining because the rock is now producing water from the bottom. You can see it drip off. You can also see how it's wet on the surface to the touch, wet to the touch. That's how you tell it's raining out. So, and like I said, if white stuff gets on there, it's gonna be snow. I think we're good. There we go.
So we have this saying called the rule of three. It's based off of the number 3. So you have 3 minutes without air or through blood loss, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and 3 months in self-isolation. So this is how you make a sling. Today we just have a neckerchief. Usually you can make this with a bandana, but what we'll do is we'll start off with a square knot at the top. And we'll make sure this fits us. That should be good. So because of how long this neckerchief is, we're just gonna fold the tail in. So we get that, and then we have our arm in there, and that keeps it immobile. So that's for if you do anything with your wrist, you break your wrist, anything like that, you want to keep this arm immobile. This helps you and someone else. Well,
all right, next up, we're gonna throw this whole bottle of lighter fluid in there. Oh shit.
did it leak?
Yeah. I think it leaked right now. I noticed it. Imagine fucking put my hand in there.
While you were doing it.
I just die. Chris? Alright, so our weather walk. No, dude.
Yeah.
No, no.
Say it again.
Okay, ready? So the weather walk is what are we completed right now? I'm not doing the whole video. Alright, so the red. Oh, damn it. Now if the rock was super moving.
Normally you can do this with a why am I blanking on the name? What's it called?
Bandana.
Bandana. Okay.